Knowing you've got 4 playoff games tomorrow out of a best out of 3.
You're going to bed with a different feeling, knowing you're waking up with a chance to go on this run that ends in a World Series title.
From MLB.com, this is the Morning Lineup Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Castrovins. Today is Tuesday, September 30th, and let me tell you, there's nothing like October baseball, even when it takes place in September. Today is the first day of the MLB postseason, with 4, count 'em 4, best of 3 wildcard series matchups beginning this afternoon and running all through the night. Give me about 10 minutes of your time, and I'll have you prepared for today's postseason action, and also get you caught up on the managerial goings and stayings taking place among the also-rans. Let's get to it. Your postseason platter begins at Cleveland's Progressive Field, where the rival Guardians and Tigers met just last week and now meet again in Game 1 of the wildcard series at 1:08 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Cleveland just completed the biggest comeback in MLB history to win a division or pennant, and they did it at the Tigers' expense. In September, the Guards went 20-7 with an MLB best 2.61 team ERA, and one bonkers moment after another.
Right field, it's deep, it is off the pole! Book it! Ruggiero rocks the house in the bottom of the 9th!
So the Guardians have momentum. What they don't have is Tarik Skubal, who is quite likely to receive his 2nd straight American League Cy Young. You're going to hear a lot about how the Guardians beat Skubal twice in the season's final 2 weeks, and it's true. But they beat him by scoring a grand total of 2 earned runs in 2 starts, the only earned runs they scored in 28 innings against Skubal this year. So yeah, Skubal is still quite good. Here's what he had to say about facing Cleveland yet again.
You get a feel for hitters and what they're trying to hit. I mean, I've said this all year. It just comes down to executing pitches. It really does. You can have a great scouting report and a great plan. If you don't execute, the plan doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So, we'll have a great plan and great game plan, but at the end of the day, when I'm out there, it's about competing and about executing pitches, and that's all that matters.
The Guardians will start Gavin Williams, who's no slouch himself. In fact, he had a 1.06 ERA with 29 strikeouts in 3 starts versus Detroit this year. And the Guardians' bullpen outperformed Detroit when these 2 clubs went head-to-head in 2025. So the Guards have a lot going for them. But the Tigers have a rested Skubal in Game 1 of a best of 3. We'll see today if that's enough. Next up at 3:08 Eastern Time, 2:08 local, it's the Padres and Cubs at Wrigley Field and on ABC. A throwback to the 1984 NLCS between these teams, in which the Padres prevailed in the decisive 5th game. The Padres will start Nick Pivetta after he held opponents to a 195 average this season, the 4th lowest of any pitcher with at least 25 starts. The Cubs tabbed All-Star Matthew Boyd after Rookie of the Year candidate Cade Horton was ruled out for this series with a rib fracture. San Diego has the strength of a bullpen that, after the in-season acquisition of Mason Miller, is largely considered to be the best in the postseason field. But the Cubs possess more power than the Padres, who rank 28th in MLB in home runs. And the Wrigley weather, which is forecast to be sunny and in the 70s today, could be conducive to the Cubs' strengths. Or hey, maybe not. At Wrigley, you never really know, as Padres manager Mike Shildt discussed Monday.
I'm sure there's a metric or somebody's got an absolute to it, but there's not many more not another ballpark that I would say that can be any trickier than Wrigley, and we're aware of it. We spent some time. We created our workout time around it. It's really just about continued awareness of the environment and making sure we're communicating consistently as the game goes, and know that in the second it could be different in the 4th, it could be different in the 7th, and the time of game we're going to see shadows and we're going to see sun balls.
Probably the biggest X factor in this game and in this series is Cubs star Kyle Tucker. He only returned from a strained calf this past weekend and went 1 for 11 in 3 games. He hasn't played in the outfield since September 2nd. The Padres, meanwhile, are hoping to reverse the trend of their regular season that saw them going just 38-43 on the road compared to 52-29 at Petco Park. Coming up, the Yankees and Red Sox have met in the postseason a time or two, but never like this. That's after the break. The Yankees and Red Sox have faced each other 24 times in the postseason, and it's an even split of 12 wins apiece. What do you say we break that tie today at 6:08 p.m. Eastern Time in Yankee Stadium and on ESPN? This will be the first time the Yanks and Sox meet in the best-of-3 wildcard round, though their last postseason meeting was in the single wildcard game in 2021, with the Red Sox pulling through. How's this for a pitching matchup? 18-game winner Garrett Crochet and his 2.59 ERA opposite 19-game winner Max Fried and his 2.86 ERA. These were major offseason acquisitions for these two clubs, brought aboard for a moment just like this. Here's what Fried had to say about his first taste of this heated, historic rivalry this season.
It's been a lot of fun. Every game feels like a playoff game when you play the Red Sox. You know, it doesn't matter if it's here or Fenway. So, you know that every game matters, and it's been a fun one to be a part of so far.
The Yankees finished the season on an 8-game winning streak, and their bullpen is on a heater with a 0.53 ERA in their last 11 games. But Boston's won 9 of the 13 regular season games against the Yanks, including 5 of 7 in the Bronx. Ever hear of this Aaron Judge guy? He might have a say in the outcome here. Judge will look to put his past postseason struggles, which include a 165 average and 35 strikeouts in 23 games, behind him. He just won a batting title with north of 50 homers, so I think he has it in him. Last up tonight at 9:08 Eastern Time, 6:08 local on ESPN, it's Dodgers versus Reds at Dodger Stadium. Hey, what are the Dodgers doing here in the wild card round? Shouldn't they have a bye? Well, no, they never did get on that 117 win pace people predicted for them, but they did seem to flip the switch in September with wins in 15 of their final 20 games. And what are the Reds doing here at all? They only won 83 games this year. But with the Mets falling apart, Terry Francona's team won just enough when it mattered most. The Reds will be heavy underdogs here, but don't overlook their young arms. They'll pit Hunter Green and his 2.76 ERA opposite Blake Snell in Game 1 tonight, and you can expect to see some triple-digit fastballs. Green threw 296 of them this year. That's 101 more than the next closest pitcher. As for Snell, he had a 0.47 ERA in 19 innings across his last 3 starts, so he comes into his first postseason start in 3 years on a roll. By the way, Shohei Ohtani will start Game 3 of this series for the Dodgers if necessary. In the meantime, you can find him right there in the Dodgers lineup, where he'll try to avenge a Reds team that somehow held him to a 120 average this year. The Reds have their own trend to buck. They were 25th in MLB in OPS against lefties this year, and that just so happens to be the hand Snell uses to pitch. The Dodgers season underscores the theme of the 2025 MLB regular season, which is that there really wasn't a dominant team. That means it's a wide open postseason, and it starts tonight. Finally, the managerial carousel is officially spinning. On Monday, the Giants dismissed Bob Melvin with a year left on his contract after finishing .500 this year, while the Twins dismissed Rocco Baldelli after 7 seasons as he took the fall following a late season collapse in 2024 and then a 92-loss season this year. And the Rangers announced that they have mutually agreed to part ways with future Hall of Fame skipper Bruce Bochy, who won a World Series with Texas in 2023. On the flip side, the Mets are keeping Carlos Mendoza after their disastrous finish to the season, and the Pirates removed Don Kelly's interim tag. Interim situations still undecided as of this recording are Tony Mansolino in Baltimore, Warren Schaefer in Colorado, and Miguel Cairo in Washington. That's all for today's show. Matt Monaghan will be with you tomorrow to recap all of day 1. Until next time, thanks for listening. Please be sure to leave us a rating and review. Share this episode with the baseball lovers in your life, and enjoy the postseason, everyone.